Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's a Democrat of Texas. She previously served as a Texas state representative, knows the state well, and she joins me now. Congresswoman, this was the goal, I think, today is our headlines. The goal is to keep the border and immigration in the public mind because they think they have an advantage on that issue. So every day they can do that is a win. But it's a serious thing to impeach someone. Were you at all persuaded by whatever case they were laying out today?
Chris, you know I wasn't persuaded. You know, I may be new to this body, but I am definitely not new to the antics when it comes to the Republican Party. And so we know what they are trying to do, and they're actually doing a semi-good job of diminishing how big of a deal it is for someone to be impeached. And that's what they want to do because their front runner, their leader, their cult leader, he has been impeached twice. And they basically want to water it down and make it seem as if an impeachment is something that you can get from Oprah. Everybody can get one. You can get one. You can get one, and things like that. And so that's what they're trying to do with this Mayorkas impeachment. And it's wrong because it tells you, just like the chairman just said, how deeply unserious these people are when it comes to running this country. And this is a complicated issue. And one of the things that most people haven't really touched on is the fact that, yeah, we had the separation of the children at the border, but do we remember that that actually cost us money? Do we recall that there were settlements that had to be paid out? Listen, Trump didn't do anything to help us, or he didn't handle immigration in any great way at all.
Yeah, and I think I just want to sort of, you made this point about sort of watering down the importance of impeachment. It strikes me as pretty important here. So this has literally only happened once in the history of the country, which is really saying something, that a cabinet secretary, this is in New York Times from March 3rd of 1876, General Belknap to be impeached. Full report of the testimony affecting the ex-secretary, the proceedings of the Congress thereon. And he actually resigned in the impeachment anyway. I should say that in that case, Belknap, there was basically an enormous pay-to-play scandal and kickback scheme that had been uncovered. 40 witnesses have testified to it, in which he was essentially handing out government favors in exchange for cash. It was wildly and flagrantly corrupt. That's the standard. They don't like Mayorkas. They don't like the Biden administration policy, which is their right. It's a free country. But what's the, like, it's been more than 100 years, and it was an enormous corruption scheme. What is the high crime or misdemeanor?
I mean, we know that one doesn't exist, right? It's just like the fact that they want to go after the president and they have nothing to offer. They're doing everything that they can because they really want to get an impeachment under their belt so that Trump can go ahead and say, you see, when the Democrats did it, it didn't mean anything. That's why I wasn't convicted. That's why these 91 counts, they don't matter. It's all a weaponization. Well, I've got news for you. Donald Trump, just like the general that you just talked about, is corrupt. Bottom line. Bottom line. And honestly, if New York keeps going the way that it's going, he's going to be broke and corrupt at the end of the day. Like, we need to make sure, I think that this country works better when we have a real two-party system. I will be perfectly honest. And I want serious people that I can work with across the aisle. I want to move this country forward in a responsible way. I can tell you that the average Democrat wants just that. I have been working with my senior senator on bills who is a Republican from the state of Texas. We can do this, but we've got to stop electing these clowns, these people that are doing nothing but tearing us apart from within. And we've got to get people that actually believe in the Constitution instead of saying they believe in it, but actually showing us that they believe in the Constitution and the sanctity of the positions that we hold and the institution overall.
Yeah, to your point, I just will re-point out that over months of bipartisan negotiations in the Senate, the contours of a budget deal were hammered out, a border deal were hammered out. It's been endorsed by the president. It's been endorsed by the Republican senators who negotiated, including Senator Lankford, who is quite conservative. Tom Tillis, they've said it's the most conservative bill we're going to get on the border in generations. And House Speaker Mike Johnson and Donald Trump want to kill it. So that's where we stand right now. We'll see if that changes. Maybe we'll have you back, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, if it does. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Still ahead.